Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Tom Stewart here. Our guest host today is Carrie Knight, filling in for Liz. And our guest today is Michael Grigery. Hey, Michael, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, Tom. Thank you so much for having me. Hey, Karen, it's good to see you again, too.
Good to see you as well.
This is really awesome because this is the first time for Michael to be on Smart Business Moves. And we were chatting a little bit before we went live. And we've got some really cool stuff that we're going to be sharing with you today. I mean, it's more focused on marketing and sales, and it's really timely for that because somewhere through this whole process, we're going to be sharing a marketing calendar as well. And guess what? It's the end of the year, getting ready for 2023. We start thinking about calendars. So, we planned this out in a really, thoughtful way. And it's going to be awesome. And I'm being sarcastic because if you guys know we never plan anything, it just kind of happens.
But, you could have got away with it, Tom.
We get lucky. We get lucky every once in a while. Michael, you want to take a few minutes and just share with our audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. It was going to get awkward when you say planning is going to be awesome because, I don't know, like 1 out of 10 people enjoy the planning process. They like the doing part, right?
It's like going to the dentist, yeah.
Yeah. So, thanks again for having me, Tom. It's awesome being here. My name is Michael Grigery. I own a marketing company called Click, Call, Sell. I'm also a business coach through the Conquer program. I've been in home services for the past 12 years. I started in the franchise world as a franchisee, then a marketing director, a brand manager, a digital consultant. I left franchising in 2019 to start my business, Click, Call, Sell, as well as start Conquer Coaching. That's how I met Carrie. And fast forward to today, our company has over 200 active subscription clients across the country, or 3 countries, in only home services. And I'm a data nerd. I love just taking numbers, analyzing them, and figuring out what the best way to put that data into action would be.
Wow. So you started off as a franchisee. What service were you offering?
Exterior cleaning. So it's a national home service franchise called Window Genie. When I started with them, I was like franchisee, probably 28, 29. I did that for about 11 months and became really close with the founder. He's retired now, but still one of my mentors, a great human. So realized that the issue was in marketing. I was doing digital marketing before franchising for real estate. And when I applied the principles of digital marketing to Window Genie, like we were the first franchise who had over half our sales coming from like the internet in 2012. So Rick just said, well, we need to do this for everybody. So shifted me into marketing. And then we went from 25 to 125 locations over about 5 years. And that's where I just basically learned everything about franchising, home services. They were acquired by Neighborly. I think everybody's heard of Neighborly. They own all the Misters, Mr. Handyman, Mr. Rooter, Mr. Electric, Grounds Guys, Molly Maid. And for them, I was a brand manager, digital consultant, and just learning from some of the smartest, most brilliant minds in home services for a couple of years. And decided I could help small businesses outside of the franchise world. So I left.
Holy cow. I guess most of us as cleaning business owners have some level of experience with, marketing and in the digital world within our own companies, but you've kind of been doing it for hundreds of companies. So the things you've learned through that experience, this is really cool. So 2012, and you were kind of like breaking new ground with the type of marketing that you were doing. What did their marketing playbook look like before you started, working your magic?
Yeah. Nobody's asked me about what we did in 2012. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Yeah. So before digital, they were still in the yellow pages. 2011, like you still had a yellow pages ad, a lot of direct mail, Valpak, RSVP, Money Mailer, just hitting direct mail. Networking, BNI, Chamber of Commerce. And that's pretty much what they did. I mean, Google existed, but people weren't really on Google ads in 2011, 2012 like they are right now. And so we launched a pretty aggressive Google ads campaign in the Cincinnati location where I was and just set it on fire. I mean, it was amazing what the results were. And so I'm not sure if we were the pioneer of Google ads, but we launched that for all the locations. And that's what really was the catalyst for the growth from, 25 to over 100 locations.
Wow, Michael, you got me reminiscing now. Carrie, you remember the yellow pages?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So Yellow
Yeah.
Pages, you wanted your company name to be like A1 Services, so you showed up right at the top. So that was your
It was a love-hate relationship. Working with the Yellow Pages was
Oh
not a
yes.
day at the beach, but it was easy. You just spend more money than your competition. You get that
Right.
full page ad and you just
Full
sit back
page
and you
ad.
take orders.
Right.
I
Well,
miss
the
those.
irony is now with Google, if you spend more money than your competition, you just take orders. So it's pretty much the same thing, just digital.
It's a little more
Right.
complicated though. And I guess that's a good thing for you. That's why you have a business doing this, right?
Yeah, good point. Some people just don't want to do it. You don't know how to do it for sure.
Right.
So how did you make the transition from basically doing the marketing for a number of franchise brands and turning it into a business for yourself? Was that hard to do?
I mean, no, not really. I mean, Neighborly taught me so much. And when I first started, I was a marketing director for Window Genie. I was helping small business owners, and that was always my passion. Is watching, especially in franchising. Carrie was in it for a long time. I'm not sure your background, Tom, but you watch people that like they have a corporate job, they save up this nest egg of money, and then they leave to do their own thing and be a solopreneur, entrepreneur, light, whatever you want to call franchising. And some of these people, like their whole life savings, they start with 100 grand, then it goes to 50, they buy the franchise 40, 30, 10. And to just watch them, build that back up and build a business and a legacy for themselves and their family in the individual level. I love that. And I mean, if anybody from Neighborly ever listens to this, they'll know why I left. And it's, as I progressed in Neighborly, I stopped working with individual owners and I started working with brands and presidents and vice presidents and COOs. And I saw the other side of the business. And it wasn't about the individual. It was about the company and, what the company could do. And it just, I lost a little bit of that passion that I had of helping the individuals. And so that was one of the main reasons I wanted to start, Click, Call, Sell, is because the small business owner, that person that's put their heart and soul into the business, they're the ones that are doing it for their family and their legacy. And that's why I started to do it. But with Neighborly, to answer your question specifically, they're a $3 billion company, or probably more than that now. I have no idea. Multi-billion-dollar company. And they've got huge teams. And so I literally got to see firsthand and coach these people that are doing this and building an agency essentially for 3,000 people. So leadership, systems, processes, structures. I built some of them. I've learned some of them. And we've just applied a lot of those principles. So we are run very much like a large franchise organization as far as like organizational chart goes. But we are structured in a way that we care deeply about the individual. We only work with a couple of franchise brands that have become franchises after we started working with them. We don't seek out or try to acquire franchises as clients.
Cool. So,
How many clients do you have right now?
I think like 212, just over 200.
And how many people are on your team?
18.
Okay. And so one of the questions that cleaning business owners always have, or one of the issues that they face, is that people will say to them, well, the reason your ads aren't working is because you don't have a strong enough SEO presence.
Ooh,
How
okay.
much of that, can you talk a little bit about the importance of SEO when you're, trying to build your brand with AdWords? Because I always heard that, our SEO wasn't strong enough.
Yeah, that's a really, really good question, Carrie. So I'll give a little bit of an opinion right now. I'll give the opinion. I'll give the data. I'll just start with the data. So there's a direct correlation between brand awareness and conversion rates. Okay. So when you think about organic, anybody listening, if you can visualize like a Google search, like search maid service, house cleaning near me, or whatever you're going to do, and you'll see the Google local service ads and the Google ads, and then the Google business profile, map pack, and then organic. And you'll hear some people say, oh, I just don't click on the ads. I know they're ads. I'm just going to scroll to the bottom, right? Well, and then you ask those people, why are you scrolling to the bottom? And the answer normally is, well, I'm looking for something. So if they're looking for something, they're probably looking for a brand they recognize, something that feels comfortable and safe to them, because they're not the risk taker, right? They're not the one that's going to click a spammy ad and get retargeted. They're the person that feels safe. And when they feel safe, they want to click for a brand they recognize. And so to me, this is the opinion now, SEO is like the final frontier and like the last step of what you do, because you want to increase your brand awareness. Because if people know your brand, you're going to get more clicks. It's that familiarity that people are looking for. So the first step you do is really just get reviews like your life depends on it.
Right.
Just build reviews, and then you leverage those reviews to do branding ads, whether it's a Facebook ad, direct mail, boots on the ground, whatever it is. Just start to introduce that powerful brand that you've built. Then you can track how many people are searching for my brand name. Once you get to a comfortable number there, SEO then becomes a better play, because just ranking in the first 2 or 3 places organically doesn't mean you're going to get a click. And once you get the click, you have to build enough trust to get the phone call, and then you got to close the job. So you're really 3 steps away from ranking to get the click, to get the call, to get the sale. Yeah. So ranking doesn't really mean anything. It's all about the conversions.
Right. And you just hit on something that was really powerful. You said, get reviews like your life depends on it. That is so powerful. And so many people just don't listen to that message. So can you add a little bit more to that? I mean, because it's so important in the residential cleaning industry.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's certain like trust signals, just things that make customers want to buy from you. And a big mistake people make is their brand is all about them, right? The back of somebody's t-shirt cleaning a counter, right? I mean, I'm on a Made website. I clearly know that you clean houses. So how can I make you feel like your house is clean? And you do that through reviews, through quality content, images, short video snippets to really create emotion and connect that emotion, because people have a pain. They don't want to clean their house. They don't have time to clean their house. They don't have the desire to do that. And what can you do as a business to show somebody like, hey, we're the best person to do this because this number of people trust us and gave us this number of reviews? Or here's a group of all of our teammates, like arm in arm, having a really good time. It's like company culture. So reviews are one of those buying signals or trust signals that allow the person on the other end, your prospective customer, that's going to decide whether or not they trust you enough to give you that phone call.
Absolutely. So powerful.
Michael, you mentioned video. How important is video in the marketing mix today?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it can't be overstated. I mean, think about, I have TikTok. I resisted it for the longest time, but that algorithm is insane, how powerful it is. And how many, if you follow, or if anybody's on TikTok and watches it, and if you are really into home services, like how many times do you see like the lawn mowing or pressure washing or just like the little snippet videos of things? So content is everything. I mean, it will be the future of what happens. I'm not sure if anybody follows Mr. Beast or even like Alex Hermosi, because he talks about this all the time, is the future, the next generation is the people that can build an audience and then leverage that audience in some way. So Mr. Beast is a huge YouTube star, hundreds of millions of followers. He started a chocolate company, a hamburger joint, like all these different businesses because of his following that he's gotten. So it's the same thing with our businesses. Go ahead, Gary.
I was going to say, wow, I never heard of him. Mr. Beast?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's wild. This is the guy. You've definitely seen videos of him. He gives away like $10,000 at a time, $100,000. He gives like an island. It's wild. This dude's crazy.
Wow. Well, Alex Hermosi, I know.
Alex Hermosi used in like one of his podcast things like Mr. Beast as an example of what the power of content is. Yeah. But I'll give one nugget though for the listeners, and we've done a lot of studying with this. So there's on everybody's website, you either have a contact form like on your homepage, like where people can fill it out directly there, or you have a contact us page. We've seen incredible success rate by putting a short 30, 45-second video on that contact us page, explaining exactly what's going to happen when they fill out that form, when they schedule the estimate is, who are we, we're going to show up, we're going to do these things in the first cleaning. These are the continued discounts we have. Just really build and establish that trust. And you'll see the ratio. So if you have Google Analytics, I don't want to get too nerdy. You said it's like the View, and this is getting super nerdy now. But if you have Google Analytics,
we can go there too.
Okay. If you have Google Analytics, you'll see like how many visits to my contact page or contact form that I have. And then you should be able to see how many people filled that out. That ratio is really, really important. And the video to get people to fill that out, to just give that 30, 45-second push to say, this is what's going to happen. We're not going to sell your data. Like that's the kind of comfort that you're going to feel to build that trust.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Good stuff. Okay. Good stuff.
I'm making notes, Michael.
I talk really fast. I have to slow it down sometimes. I'm sorry.
No worries. No worries. So in terms of, the content and brand awareness, I know most home service businesses, certainly, the residential cleaning world, it's getting a little bit better, but things are still pretty much supply constrained. There's more work than there is labor to do it.
Yes.
Does this kind of translate over? Can you use some of these same assets to help you recruit as well?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So in the Conquer program, we focus heavily on recruiting. It's marketing. You're just marketing instead of to customers. Yeah. You're marketing to get people. And what I've learned since, working with home service businesses for as long as I have, but especially in the Conquer program for the last 4 years, is that you really want to focus your recruiting on culture And once you get, and tell me if you guys agree with this, it sounds like you have a lot of experience too. Once you get that core group of people, the 2, 3, 4 people, they start to attract more A players. The hardest part is just to get those first couple of people that are there and then identify who they are, like avatar them, and then start to write your job ads and your copy, and all of your recruiting is around just like building on that foundation. Because even if there is churn, which there's definitely churn between cleaners, it happens, but we get that identifier, that avatar, that we can continue to hire that person over and over again. That's where our job ads, that's where our, their working interviews, whatever you're doing, you bring them into this kind of culture that you've created based on that core group of people that you started with.
Yep.
So, you mentioned Conquer a little bit. You want to speak to that for a minute, Michael, for some of our audience? They might not, I imagine most of them are, but a little refresher and explanation of what that's about would be useful.
Yeah. So honestly, Conquer is like the catalyst for why I left Neighborly. I was invited to an event called the Automate Grow Sell Experience with a guy named Josh Latimer. He literally owns a castle in Michigan and has this mastermind group with home service businesses that are there. And I was invited to go just as an attendee. And I saw like all the processes and systems. And this was like one of the first exposures that I had to people that were growing with really good systems and teachings that was not part of a franchise organization. So anyway, I get to this 3-day event, and they launch what is now the Conquer program. It combines accountability, community, and clarity. It's basically, if you're part of a franchise organization, it's very much like that, where you've got to coach a group of people all in the same size business, all home service industries, working together to achieve whatever their goal is. Everybody kind of has a different destination. And the accountability is weekly, monthly, quarterly accountabilities that you set for yourself based on your growth plan. Community is all people kind of rowing in the same direction, trying to grow their home service business. And the clarity comes in documents. There's hundreds and hundreds of documents, budgets, spreadsheet templates for job ads, marketing calendars, anything you would need to like practically grow your business. You don't have to reinvent the wheel is in there. And so once they launched Conquer, I literally cornered Brandon Vaughn, who started Conquer, and Josh, uncomfortably cornered them and told them I needed to be a Conquer coach. Thankfully, they let me, and fast forward to today, I'm still coaching. Even some of the same people that I did a few years ago.
What year was that when you stumbled on
so I met Josh in 2016.
Oh, wow.
Through his podcast.
Okay.
And sorry, my phone keeps ringing. It's through his podcast, and actually invited him to speak at a Window Genie event. And that's how we became close after that.
Okay.
So just kept following him. That's how I got invited to the event, and then just basically forced myself into being a Conquer coach.
Nice. And is Josh still involved with Conquer, or is he still doing, or is he doing kind of more of his video? He's a video company.
Yeah. He's got all the war plans. So War Plan Studios, Kid War Plan, like he's branding this whole war plan idea. Josh is one of the greatest marketers I've ever met.
He is. He's just such an incredible marketing mind. He's amazing.
Yeah, he is. So I don't know what his involvement is directly with Conquer, but Conquerors are directly related with Josh, like through his thing. So he's like, you build a tribe, you build a following, and like no matter what Josh does, half of Conquer is going to run and jump on it.
Yeah, he's amazing. So if people wanted to sign up with Conquer, are they only allowed in like certain times of the year? Like if they wanted to say work with you, how would they be able to do that?
Yeah, so there are 20 some coaches. I don't have any openings, but every coach currently owns or has owned a automated 7-figure business or larger in the home services space. So they all have really good resumes. There's a lot of people who currently own a home service business that they've pretty much got it automated, and they just enjoy coaching and helping. So that's what they do. I'll put in the link here. Conquernow.com is, I know for sure, the website of the Conquerors. I wasn't prepared for that question, so I don't know the actual link to sign up for Conquer. Unfortunately, I'm kind of embarrassed, but I'll make sure that I give it to you so you can put it in like the notes or follow up from here.
So what you're saying is there's a waiting list to work with you specifically.
Yes, I was saying that.
Okay. Nice.
There you go. That's it. Yeah, look at that. Tom found it. So there's the link right there. Highly recommend. Anybody that wants to grow, truly wants to scale their business, but is kind of stuck, this is I can't think of a better program than this, especially from zero to about $1.5 million. It's really geared toward that. I had 12 people that I coach break $1 million last year in sales.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
So how many people are you currently coaching?
19 or 20.
Holy cow. How do you have
Yeah.
time to run your marketing business?
Like I said, I built it all with systems. So
Okay.
we have leadership in place. I had leadership in place pretty much from day one. My operations manager is a total rock star. He's the one that runs like all the account managers and media buying and SEO teams and everything. I still do a lot with sales and admin. We have a director of admin though. So I do like the strategy and planning and the budgets and bonus structures and all that. Matt runs all of operations, and I just set my life up to do what I love doing, and that's talking to small business owners all day. So this is literally my life. I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That
I get
is
to do what I want to do and get paid for it.
And you're good at it, Michael. You're
Oh,
really
thanks.
good at it.
so, we've talked a little bit about the building the brand part and like building your audience. And, if how does that translate if I'm a cleaning business owner? I mean, not everybody's gonna just be able to build, 500,000, followers on YouTube. So subscribers on YouTube. So what advice could you give to your typical home service, operator in that regard? Should we all be trying to build an audience to help promote our business?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, what I have this nerdy phrase that I always say, but the success of a home service business is based on the size and the vitality of their database, which really means like how many customers do you have, how often do they use you, and what's the lifetime value. And so, yes, you need to get customers into your database. And the beautiful thing about house cleaning maid service industry is that demand's really high. So you can get people into your database, and a customer that you lose once is not a customer that you lose forever, right? A cancellation or attrition today doesn't mean they're not ever going to use you again. So we need to be marketing to our audience and our database. It may not be a TikTok channel or a YouTube channel by any means, but you certainly want to collect emails and phone numbers for every single web inquiry, every single phone call, every single person you come in contact with, to have some sort of nurturing accounts for people who aren't an active customer, and an account for your active customers to keep them engaged with your business. So 100%. There's a great book, They Ask You Answer. It highlights the most common questions that customers are asking you and the answers that you give and how to put that data into action. So what questions are you being asked? How can I create content around those most common questions? So there you go. Short book.
Marcus Sheridan's awesome. He's been on our show before. He's quite a talent.
Yep. And so just follow that book and do that for your brand. You don't have to be a pool company. Just do it for maid service. Do it for landscaping. It doesn't matter.
Right.
We've talked a bit about like pay-per-click, Google, AdWords as being part of the marketing mix. SEO is important. Are there other, and certainly you want to get reviews, like as many as you possibly can. Are there other, parts to the marketing mix that we would want to be focusing on?
Absolutely, yeah. So first, Google Ads and Google Local Service Ads, specifically Google Local Service Ads or maybe Google Guaranteed. If you're not using that, stop what you're doing right now. We'll finish listening to this episode, and then go and get started with the Google Local Service Ads. It's crazy. It's the most powerful thing that Google's done maybe ever, because it's so much smarter than Google Ads is. So maybe you've talked about this before, but Google Local Service Ads is like a verified purchase on Amazon. If you've ever been shopping on Amazon and you've seen like the verified purchase reviews, because they're able to, through call tracking, know if you answered the phone, know who called you. You're able to track the names of the people that you're doing business with through their dashboard. And it's so intelligent that if you get a review through Google Local Service Ads or Google Guaranteed, Google knows that, and they're going to weigh that review heavier. And because Google's job is to show the air quotes best result, they will show the company they feel is going to have the highest chance of doing the best job. And so if you are answering your phone, you have a good closing percentage, you're offering a good experience and getting good reviews from your clients, you're going to dominate Google Local Service Ads. And in an industry with as much search volume as cleaning does, there's an almost unlimited supply. Your capacity is going to be your infrastructure and your technicians, your cleaners over anything else. So local service ads, do that immediately.
Okay.
So that would be one.
After the show.
After the show, yes, please. So the next one is you first, before you decide like what lead sources you want to do, you have to decide first what your sales goal is, like how much do I want to do in sales, and then second is what is my target customer acquisition cost? How much am I willing to spend for a customer? And I'm going to go crazy and say let's just do it 1x a clean. So if my average ticket is $190, I'm willing to spend $190 to acquire a customer, which might seem crazy, but if you can do a good job at retaining, that lifetime value is huge.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah. So let's just say it's 1x, so $190, and it doesn't, from that point in time, it doesn't matter how you acquire a customer, whether it's Google ads, local service ads, shaking somebody's hand at a gas station, Yelp, Angie's List, or Home Advisor, Thumbtack, Craft Jack, it doesn't matter. As long as I can identify what my max customer acquisition cost is, acquire customers until either A, you reach capacity, or B, you start to see one where there's a point of diminishing returns that hasn't been met. As an example, local service ads is crushing it. You're not spending enough money there. You're getting customers for $60, but Angie's List is $185. I'm going to turn down Angie's List and turn up local service ads and just move those dials. So having the ability to track where leads are coming from and the customer acquisition cost is critically important. But you start by identifying how much can I afford to acquire customers, step one. Step two, turn on the engines and see where you're at and then optimize from there. Those are the things that ClickCalls, our company, does. Our account managers are trained to do, analyze that data and help home service business owners, because that's not a skill set that a lot of people that I've found and work with are very good at.
No.
Right. So, the total lifetime value would then be a function of what the churn rate is on your, recurring client base. And having that data is really important too. We found on the Made Central side that we've got, a number of companies on Made Central that are spending meaningful amounts of money on like Google AdWords on a monthly basis and paying, larger amounts per click than what you would have traditionally even considered a few years ago. But they can do the math and figure out that, it's going to take me a number of months in order to recover my investment, but they're going to be with me long enough that in the long run, we're going to be more profitable by making that spend. So, are you seeing that AdWords is becoming a bigger and bigger part of the marketing mix?
For some people, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, there's a direct correlation between brand awareness and conversion rates. So companies that are more well-established, longer in business, more brand awareness are going to do better with Google ads than somebody who's just brand new and starting out. That doesn't mean you don't do it. You just have to have maybe a more aggressive offer, more aggressive call to action, just something to build that trust quicker. Because if you're been in business 20 years, you're a household name and people have seen you and heard of you, there's enough trust there to get the phone call. Because if you think about it, why do customers call your brand? And I ask this question all the time, and the number one answer that I get is because they want their house cleaned, or because they want a service done. But that's a silly answer, because there's 100 maid services. Why'd they call you, not the other 99 people? And they called you because you've done something to earn their trust and have them believe that you can solve the problem, which is why 99 out of 100 customers calls you excited and they're optimistic about the chances of you cleaning their house. And then they get turned off for some reason, price or availability, whatever it could be. But you get those calls from prospects, or they're like, hey, I need my house cleaned, I'm hoping you can do it. And then something happens throughout the process to get to a no. But when you get that phone call, they're excited about that. And so you have to create that excitement. Either you've done it through the 20 years you've run the maid service and built that trust up to where it's already there, or you're brand new in the marketplace and are doing something, an offer, a special process, something that's going to make them believe that you can scratch their itch.
Right. Good stuff.
How does, like you mentioned, TikTok, do you see home service providers advertising in TikTok?
It's emerging. It definitely is emerging. We don't offer TikTok as a service, but there are definitely agencies that are doing it. I haven't seen it. I've seen it for house cleaning a little bit, but mostly just for like extremely dirty houses or people that like go into these crazy special cases. But for other services that are more like eye-catching, pressure washing, the time-lapse videos of something that's just absolutely gross getting cleaned.
Right.
Works really good for the concrete coatings industry, in slow motion videos, anything that just can be eye-catching. absolutely, you see that happening.
I was going to ask this question a little bit later, but since we kind of touched upon it, I'll do it now. That, you know, I've observed over the years how, I mean, we started off talking about yellow page advertising as being a big deal, and you know, even what you were doing in 2012 up to now, digital marketing and everything has evolved, and that has, I'm sure, has changed a lot over the years. What's happening moving forward? You know, if we, you know, moving into 2023, you know, and beyond, do we need to be looking at, you know, what's changing? What do we need to know about marketing moving forward that would be useful to us?
Oh, that's such a loaded question, Tom.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, that's deep. It's really deep because there's two factors. Like, we think about like what's happening, what's in the future. So if you do a SWOT analysis, your strengths and weaknesses are internal. Like, what are you good at, bad at as a person or in a business? But opportunities and threats are external, right? And there are things we necessarily can't control. And so, like, there's two competing factors that we've got to going on right now. And one, like the economy, right? So you say, what's happening? We've been in this period of prosperity for like 10 years now. And you're in the space. How many more maid services exist today than 10 years ago? How many more open up every single year? Because it's really easy to start a business because there's this huge abundance of demand and a shortage of workers. So there's a lot of like owner operators and smaller companies in all industries now. So personal opinion, this is not financial advice, but I do believe that because of the rise of interest rates, the quantitative tightening that's happening with the government, it's harder to get money. It's going to be harder to get leads and effectively grow your business in 2023. So what we've seen is this huge, successful, awesome economy, this rise of competition. And then what's going to happen is when the recession finally does hit us, which it takes longer because we're a multi-trillion-dollar economy, when it does hit, there's going to be this point in time when all these starving, hungry home service owners or maid services are just trying as hard as they can to get work, but they don't have a lot of cash. They don't have a strong brand. They don't have like the foundation of a strong business. And those people are going to fall off really quick. So there's going to be like 3 to 6 months of really, really difficult times for businesses saying what's going on, because there's a lot of really hungry owner operators who are just doing whatever they can to stay alive. Right. But what's going to happen then is they're all going to go out of business. You're going to be able to buy assets and get employees really cheap. And there's going to be this lull, just like we had 2008 before I was really involved with everything I've read and heard about, where there's just this period of time where there's not a lot of demand because there's not a lot of money floating around the economy. But then things are going to pick up. And once that uptick happens again, there's going to be a disparity on the other side. There's going to be way more demand than there is maid services because they've all gone out of business. So what you need to do is be strong from a cash position. You need to make sure that you're doing everything to stock and save cash now to weather the storm that's going to happen. There's mastermind groups that have started on this. There's education, recession marketing. You see it all over the place. So just prepare yourself. So if it does get, 3, 6, 9 months of all these scrappy owner operators just doing everything they can to stay, in business, you've got to weather that, because once they're gone, now there's a lot more demand for a lot less people happening at that time. So that's the economy. That's one piece. And I don't want to talk for 11 minutes in a row. So I'll just leave it there for a second.
No, that's good. I mean, I was doing this back in 2008 and prior, and I remember that. And I had some pretty good coaching. And one of the things that I was advised to do then, which was really good advice, is take every credit facility, every line of credit, everything that I have, and basically max it out. Because when things get really bad, banks pull those things away. And it's going to be a little bit different now because interest rates are higher now than they were then. Yep. So, you're going to be paying a little bit more for that. But if you don't have you're not sitting on a lot of money, but you've got like lines of credit and you're thinking, well, I'm not going to touch it until I need it. It might not be there when you need it. There's some people who advise, go ahead and take that money while you can, and you're going to pay some interest on it, but pay it back in a year or two once things go down and then come back up again.
Yeah. And I lived through it too. I mean, that time period, and what you described is exactly what happened. I mean, the phone did not ring. It was really bad, bleak. Everything about it felt terrible. But then there was this day where like the sun came out and then everything just changed. So if you can hang on long enough, what's on the other end is it's abundance. So
Yeah.
it's just have to hang on long enough.
Yeah. And I've coached a lot of home service business owners in the last 12 years. And one thing I've learned about low barrier to entry industries, maid service is a perfect example, is a lot of the people, majority, not everybody, majority of the people that start a low barrier to entry industry have never really had a lot of money in their life. And so when they have a $40,000, $50,000 month and they made $18,000 that month, is they don't think I should probably stock some away just to have some cash for like operating expenses if things go bad, and they keep their operating account really low. Is in Conquer, I always try to get people to have 3 months of operating expenses just in an account that it could fluctuate, but we're going to get it back to that level. That way, especially if you're a seasonal business like painting or landscaping or exterior cleaning, and you've got that seasonal nature, you need that money to weather that 3-month slow time, so you're not going into debt. Because what happens is you go through this cycle. Slow period goes, I go crazy in debt. I spend the first 3 months of the season paying that debt back, and it's just this vicious cycle of below zero to just a little bit. So just get in the habit of whatever 3 months of operating expenses is, that should be your baseline just to have in the bank. And that'll make you feel so much better.
Good advice.
Yeah. Sitting here, a few weeks away till we start the new year. I know a lot of businesses are kind of doing their year-end planning and getting ready for 2023. So I guess that should certainly be part of the consideration, right? What do I need to do financially, given the at least the possibility? I heard something where like 98% of the CEOs in this country believe that we're in for a recession next year. That's up from 95, and that's up from 95% when they took the survey a month ago.
Well, you just see all the warning signs happening, and the economy is so large, nothing happens overnight, right? You just see these steps and progression just happening, and the interest rates keep going up. Every time the interest rates go up, the stock market takes a hit. Money's getting harder to come by. They're intentionally trying to increase unemployment. So you just see all of these things happening, and when it finally does hit, it's going to be bad, and you have to be, as a home service business, prepared for that.
Yep.
Yeah, and heard Jamie Dimon, the CEO of one of the larger banks, talking yesterday that the consumer is still strong. They have like $1.5 trillion still left in the bank, and that money is going to be gone by the middle of next year. And if it hasn't gotten bad by then, it'll be getting bad shortly thereafter.
Yep.
Credit card debt's supposed to be really high too.
It is. Yep. Just be smart as a business owner in general. You have to be smart with your money to be able to continue to reinvest. Don't buy the fancy Tesla until you can afford it with the consistent passive income that's coming in.
Right. So one of the things that we talked about early or before we started the show is that you have a pretty sophisticated marketing spreadsheet, like a budget,
Marketing calendar.
Yeah, calendar.
Yes.
Is that something you can share with us?
You go to clickcallsale.com/calendar. And there's just free resources. Like I mentioned earlier, I truly love helping small business owners. And so I've just got some resources here that are really helpful for all home service businesses. But I have a regular marketing calendar, which you can kind of forecast non-repeating business. And then for high frequency services like maid services, there's one called the service or high frequency. I'm not sure what it's called. Looks like Tom's trying to get on there right now. It's just the website.com/ that shouldn't be it. That's embarrassing if that's it. Yeah, there we go. / calendar.
Okay.
You're on resources. Yep.
Bingo.
Good job. Yep, there you go.
There we go.
Okay. Right there.
Calendar. Okay.
And video tutorial. That one up top is a just general marketing calendar that you can use to kind of decide. So I have this really acronym ACE: anticipate, capitalize, extend. And so if every home service business should be practicing this ACE acronym. So anticipate, knowing when your busy season is so that you can get front load your marketing to really get to capacity as quick as you possibly can. The beautiful thing about the cleaning industry is you don't have this lull that pest control does or these other industries do. So when you think about getting to capacity, it takes a tremendous amount more effort to go from 0 to full than it does to just maintain full, because you have to sell more jobs than you can do to get to capacity. So anticipating is making sure that we're prepared to be up to capacity. Capitalize is running an efficient business. Actually, when you're in the peak season, the spring season, preparing for holidays, gift card, if you do those, when you know you're just going to be absolutely slammed, you can actually lower your budget a little bit because you're at capacity. So either increase your infrastructure, get more bodies to clean, or you can drop your marketing spend just to cover the churn and cancellations that you're going to have. And then extend is knowing when you're going to have those slow periods of time, usually like vacation, summertime. That's when we're going to load our marketing up again to get us through those busier times. So if I can, 6 weeks before I know it's going to slow down, supercharge the marketing again, that'll help me mitigate that slowdown that you could possibly have in your business. So that marketing calendar is a way for you to be proactive in your marketing. It's got some places to do like weekly. So if you want to do like voicemail bombs or text blasts or whatever, you can identify which weeks you're going to do those things. And then it's got digital, print, networking, just a whole bunch of different sections. And just use it. It's a cool tool. And if you scroll down, Tom, there is a right there, sales planning for high frequency businesses. This is a spreadsheet that will help you calculate what your current mix is of cleanings. So this is specifically for maids. So if you've got 100 cleanings in a month, we've got of those we're going to project 20 of them are going to be one time. We have just set 20 weekly cleanings, and the rest are like just set. We know where we're at. We can forecast our projected monthly spend based on what we have recurring. So then you just decide like where do you want to be and how many of those jobs do I need to sell to get there. And this spreadsheet will kind of help you forecast how many leads you need to get, what is your average ticket, closing percentage, how many weeklies, monthlies, biweeklies, one times do you have to sell in order to hit that sales goal. And that's what this planning calendar does for specifically maid services.
Yeah,
And you give that away for free?
Yeah, why not? I don't care.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. The people don't. You give things away for free, put it behind a paywall. Then it just takes more time to like explain it to people. You give it for free, then they can use it if they want to.
So you work with home service companies. I guess there's a lot of different verticals there. Do you have some clients that are in the house cleaning industry?
Oh yeah, several. So mostly services, not trades. So we only have a couple of people in services. Primary industries, exterior cleaning, maid services, painting, landscaping. Those are our primary core services we work with.
And going back to the beginning of our discussion where we touched upon Yellow Pages as a primary marketing tool, back in the day, it was simple then. I mean, you had to write a relatively big check, but it didn't. And then you could forget about it for a year. That was the other thing that was really cool. My experience is a lot of cleaning business owners that don't really even have the time to tend to all of this. You can put a plan together, but executing it when the whirlwind hits and Mrs. Jones is upset because there's a hair in her bathtub and Sally didn't come to work today because her cat's sick and all of those things that you just the important and urgent things, you get overwhelmed with things that seem to be urgent and the important stuff doesn't happen. So even if you think that you know how to do it, and it's a lot harder to know how to do it now than you used to be, just being honest and looking in the mirror and say, do I really, am I committed to putting the time in this to do it? Leads me to believe that for a lot of companies, it would make sense for them to reach out to a company like yours, Michael, for help with the marketing, because like we touched, that's how you grow your business. That's how you maintain your business. And if you do it well, you can even get more employees by a strong marketing program.
Yeah. And even more, so we've trained our account managers, not necessarily just to be the guy that buys or the girl that buys your Google ads or Facebook ads, whatever it is, but to analyze the data and be an extension of your marketing team. Like not us, but your agency, the person you work with should be like your partner. There shouldn't be anything they can't do. Like if you want to change an image or get a new call to action or an offer, the agency doesn't know as well as you do. You wake up and live this thing. It's your identity every single day. So having somebody that can look at the data, analyze it with you, and work together to find what the next thing is going to be, because you don't have to be a website coder or designer. You just have to be able to say, this zip code, this neighborhood is where we're getting a lot of leads. Let's make a promotion for that. And having somebody that can just explain the insights, explain the data so that you can do something with it. That, I believe, is what is the value of an agency is going to be, because there's so much information that you collect from the internet that you can use offline, right? If I can tell you what day of the week, what time of the day, what city, zip code, what services people are looking for, where they're looking for it, what time of the day or what day of the week, you can use that for an EDDM campaign or a network, a mailer, joining a net referral group. There's so much information you can take from the web and use it offline.
Right.
So if I'm a cleaning business company and I reach out to your firm to help with my marketing, what is there anything in the area of marketing that you guys don't do that that cleaning business would have to do for themselves, or find somebody else to handle?
I mean, I'll say what we do and not what we don't do, because I'm sure, yes, there are definitely things we don't do.
Okay.
Yeah, so Google ads, local service ads, and Yelp ads. I know Yelp is like a really bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
4-letter word. That's a 4-letter word.
Yeah, I know it's a bad word, but they give some crazy insights that we have access to, like how many searches are happening, how many leads are your competitors getting, how much money are they spending, and that if you have this big void, if there's 1,000 Yelp searches and nobody's paying for it, that's a gold mine you could be sitting on. Now, I personally am not a fan of Yelp and AngelList and HomeAdvisor, but they're billion-dollar companies for a reason. And if you don't play the game, you can't win. And so at least know what the rules of the game are before you jump in. So for that reason, we do offer Yelp ads, but I mean, not nearly as many people run Yelp as other services, because it just doesn't make sense. If you're a middle America person in house cleaning, it's probably not even make sense. But if you're in Los Angeles, Yelp is probably a pretty big lead generator for you. Yeah. So yeah, Google ads, local service ads, Yelp ads, Facebook ads, SEO, website building, and blogging and social posts. So pretty much like the core services an agency will offer. We're not a sales company, so we really just want to understand where you are in business, what your goals are. Like I mentioned, SEO. SEO is not for everybody. It's expensive, and it's not something that a brand new company should be focusing on. They should be focusing on building their brand. So we really kind of understand like where you are in your business, what your budget is, and what the next logical step for you to do in that progression of hitting your goals for your business.
Very good.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Facebook. Is that we're talking about trends, and it seems like Facebook was a bigger deal a couple of years ago than it is now. Some changes to how Apple does things maybe is.
Oh yeah, that was such a pain in the butt. Yeah. So the tracking still isn't totally fixed, and Facebook is actively working to make it a better experience. But yeah, so Facebook is interruption marketing. And you've had a lot of people, I'm not sure if you've talked about like the AIDA method of marketing. So awareness, interest, desire, and action. So if you think about, I'll just go through it. Awareness is, I'm aware that the service exists. Most people know that professional maid service house cleaning companies exist. And then, or awareness of, I know that your company exists. So making sure that, yeah, I know a house cleaning company exists, but do I know that your company exists? Then you have interest. So the Facebook is where interest happens. Nobody logs into Facebook. Well, I hope nobody logs into Facebook thinking, come on, show me a house cleaning ad. Come on. That just doesn't happen. But you show like an image, or you show something that is going to say, ooh, that looks interesting. My bathtub's always disgusting. I certainly would like to have somebody clean that for me. So you get people in the interest phase. Whereas Google or referrals is the desire phase. They're going to Google house cleaner near me, and you're getting people who already have the desire. You just have to make them take action. So Facebook is phenomenal. You're going to get a tremendous amount of impressions for your brand for a very, very low cost. Nothing's a lower cost impression. And you're also going to be able to drum up a lot of interest. It may not be your avatar, it may not be your customer that wants the service, but you're getting a lot of engagement. So highly recommend Facebook for anybody that's trying to build a brand, just to get awareness up, because cost per impression, really low. And then it becomes a sales process issue. So you have desire, Google Ads is desire, and then action, getting them to take action. And that's when they decide to, give you a check and give you their money.
Cool. That is awesome. Wow. So if a cleaning business wants to know more about how to, commission your service or just know more about your service, is it best for them? Is there a preferred way
Yeah,
of?
yeah. So I intentionally don't have a phone number on our website. Well, yeah, we had a brand manager that was in charge of that left us about a month ago. All the phone calls went to him. It's getting you into our database is always the step. And so talk to an expert, gives you a form. There's automation on the back end of that form, because regardless of what happens, you're going to have to fill out that form anyway, just to get into our database. And that form right there will allow you to schedule a 30-minute call with me, because I love talking to people, and decide whether or not we're a good fit. And if not, it just turns into a little coaching session. I talked to a concrete company yesterday in Fort Worth, that brand new in business, 6 months in. It only sold a couple of jobs, wasn't ready for our service. So I recommended other people that could help him based on his budget and where he needed for a logo, etc. So like, this is my life. I love talking to people and helping where I can. We're not for everybody. Our avatar is, our client is usually, 400,000 and above, with probably 2,000 and above to spend on advertising. And that's counting management, and wants to grow. Like, this is somebody who really wants to grow and work with a company for marketing and just data analysis. We're as much of like a data analysis company as anything else, is helping you understand the information that your website is collecting.
And do your analysts like meet with your clients? Do you do like a monthly review or a quarterly review? What can they expect?
Yeah. So we actually stopped doing the preset calls. You can relate to this, Carrie. I'd say 60% of the people that we had preset calls with didn't show up because something happened. So yeah, ended up wasting a ton of time for the account managers, and it was really frustrating for them. So now it's just open-ended. We prefer to set calls, but you can call them, contact them whenever you want, email, whatever method is best for you. Everybody has their own phone number. Yeah, our clients are basically like an extension, or our account manager extension of their marketing teams.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
And we also talked a little bit about Conquer. If anybody is interested knowing more about Conquer, I guess there's an application process.
Yeah, same tactic. Yeah, and that's Brandon Vaughn. If you don't know who Brandon Vaughn is, like, seriously, Google his name. Map to a Million is a YouTube channel he started. Of all the people I know in home services personally, Brandon is the apex of all of them. It's remarkable. So because it's cleaning, Brandon doesn't I don't think he's in the cleaning space as much. So Brandon started Conquer. And then just to prove that the accountability and the clarity of Conquer works, like the Conquer system of scaling a home service company works, Brandon decided to start a company that he knew nothing about, ended up being Concrete Coatings. And from zero to day zero, didn't even know what brand he was going to start, to 12 months. I don't know if I can, he's a franchise, did a very, very high number in sales, started franchising, and sold multiple franchises in less than 12 months, all doing the same principles and concepts that Conquer is. So yeah, it's a remarkable program. And Brandon's systems and processes that he's used to build multiple 7-figure businesses, he's like an open book that overshares everything. And Conquer really just uses the same principles that he's used to scale so many businesses.
That's really cool. Kind of proof of concept, eating his own cooking.
Yep, he did. And it's a YouTube, a whole YouTube series. He did it called Map to a Million. Episode 1 is, what business should I start? And I helped him with this. So he didn't know what business he was going to start. He literally interviewed people. He had to Google Map to a Million or go to YouTube and type Map to a Million. And so he interviewed landscaping and HVAC and these different industries. Finally,
what's to a million? I'm sorry.
To a million, MAP.
Map.
Yep. And so, yeah, first episode is, hey, want to start a business? Let's go figure out which one I want to start. And talked about frequency, high frequency, low ticket, high ticket, low frequency services. And then it went on to, okay, I picked a company. Let's get a name. So then he shows how he picks a name, looking at it can he trademark the name and make sure it's protected. And then he built the logo, and we built his website. So I'm actually on one of these videos because we do all of his marketing for him, or we don't do his Facebook ads, but everything except Facebook. And then he built the website, and he hired people, and like to just see it all. It's really cool to watch it all happen.
Yeah.
Very good. I dropped the link to that as well. So
Very, very, very well produced series of videos.
so cool.
Yeah.
Michael, thank you so much for being our guest today on Smart Business Moves. You know, this
I
is
loved your energy. It was great.
Thank you. I had 5-hour energy before I started. Just kidding.
Oh, that's the secret.
It's a LaCroix. I'm super bougie.
okay. But you know, we're getting close to the top of the hour here, so I think that we're about ready to call it a wrap for today. We're going to be back next Wednesday, 5 o'clock Eastern. Again, if you want to hit Michael up, you can find the website to click call sell in chat, go to /calendar and download some of those awesome tools. Or Conquer, that is in chat as well if you want to know more about opportunities to get some awesome coaching for your business.
Okay.
I guess we're good for today. Again, Michael, you are an awesome guest. Very much appreciate you sharing with our audience. Carrie, thank you for pitch hitting today at the last minute, filling in for Liz. That was awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Tom. It was nice to meet you as well.
We will see you next Wednesday, 5 o'clock Eastern. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.